Welcome to Fugitive Currents. Remember to like, share, and subscribe for more content on hidden struggles and acts of resistance. I'm your host, Sher Ali Khan. Earlier this week in Quetta, the capital of Pakistan's southwestern province of Balochistan, Dr. Mahrang Baloch was violently arrested during a peaceful Genocide Day protest. Her arrest and abduction comes amid a broader crackdown on the Baloch Yakjehti Committee, a decentralized women-led movement demanding the return of thousands of forcibly disappeared Baloch people. Mahrang is not only a physician and activist organizer, she's also a daughter, a sister, and a survivor of the very state violence she resists. Her disappearance makes it necessary for us to explore 2024 essay Lumma in Your Name, which she writes for Wasafiri, the special issue, which was published in May 2020, was translated by Mahvish Ahmed, the assistant professor in human rights and politics at the London School of Economics. Mahvish Ahmed's translator note frames Lumma as a form of political insurgency, a mode of resistance that emerges from love, care, and endurance. Lumma, the Baloch word for mother, is central to Mahrang's theory of resistance. She writes in the beginning of the essay, Balochistan's woman stops being a woman when she becomes a mother. Instead, she transforms into a supreme example of sacrifice and compassion. Mahrang writes not from this abstract academic level, but actually from her own embodied everyday experience. Her father, Dr. Ghaffar Lungo, a nationalist and government employee, was abducted in 2009. His body was found in 2011 bearing signs of torture. Her mother, her Lumma, heard this loss while raising 6 children alone. My Lumma, her youth passed her by as she took care of this soldier's children. She buried the woman inside of her. Lumma is not simply a memory, it is a method, it is a practice, it is a structure of survival and protest. Mahrang recounts how her Lumma juggled different roles at the home. In the morning, she'd be a mother cooking breakfast for us, and that same morning, she'd be a father dropping my brother off at school, asking my teacher for leave because Mahrang's father is missing. There's a protest for him. In another passage, Mahrang reflects, this isn't just a story of one mother. It's the story of thousands of mothers who live on my land by strangling the woman inside of them and keeping the mother alive. This naming matters because Mahrang invokes her mother not just as a caregiver, as Hani, the beloved of Sheh Murid in Baloch folklore, who awaits for her revolutionary lover through lifetimes. Her Lumma is that Hani and the Murid, her father, is both martyr and myth. This isn't metaphor, it is method. The essay weaves personal memory with collective struggle, refiguring motherhood as the bedrock of national memory. Mahvish Ahmed's highlights how Lumma functions as a force of resistance, not simply to mourn, but to organize, to persist, and to refuse disappearance. Mahrang writes of other mothers, Zakir Majid's Lumma, Sami Mangal's mother, her own elder Lumma, Magunj, all of whom share a bond rooted in collective pain and enduring love. Lumma becomes a force that stretches beyond, encompassing all of those who hold memory and resist disappearance. In framing Lumma in this way, Mahrang Baloch challenges conventional notions of protest. Rather than confrontation alone, Lumma's insurgency is embodied in caregiving, in the refusal to let loss become erasure, and in creation of spaces where grief becomes a shared political force. The conceptual grounding is vital to understand Mahrang Baloch's disappearance. It is not just an attack on activists, but on the very practice of holding memory as a form of resistance. Lumma insists that when the state enacts disappearance, resistance takes the shape of communal care, a radical claim to existence. At this exact moment, Lumma moves from theoretical reflection into urgent praxis. As police disperse peaceful Baloch Yakjehti Council sit-ins and detain mothers like Samideen Baloch, Lumma insists that absence be inscribed into public memory, not erased by state violence. Each act of protest, each photograph held aloft, becomes a site of embodied refusal. When state law codifies disappearance as normal, Lumma asserts a counter law: the right to remember, the right to bear witness, and demand accountability. In this sense, Lumma is both shield and sword, protecting collective grief and wielding it as political force. Across Quetta, Karachi, Islamabad, and beyond, Lumma's resonance reveals that maternal solidarity is not sentimental but revolutionary. It stitches fractured communities, transforms mourning into mobilization, and insists that no one vanish without a trace. Understanding Lumma is essential to understanding the stakes of Mahrang Baloch's arrest. Her disappearance is not only a human rights violation, it is an assault on the very fabric of collective resistance. Lumma, as she theorizes it, becomes the name for the force that resists erasure by turning mourning into militant presence. In this sense, Lumma is not sentiment, it is structure. It is what keeps the disappeared visible. It is what turns pain into protest. It is what allows grief to be political. When the state kills, abducts, and silences, Lumma insists on memory, on names, on bodies that cannot be disappeared without witness. Across Balochistan, women continue to organize. The crackdown confirms what Lumma already knows. The struggle is ongoing, and the resistance continues to grow. And yet, through Lumma, the struggle does not retreat. It breathes, it speaks, it talks, it refuses silence. Lumma is a force that mourns and builds at once. It is the insistence that nothing, not even disappearance, can dissolve the threads of care, resistance, and memory. In the aftermath of this week's violent crackdown, Lumma is the name we must carry forward. Remember to like, share, and subscribe for more content on hidden struggles and acts of resistance. I'm your host, Sheh Murid. Thank you for watching Organic Filaments Network.